prediction market where you could create markets on new things. And
at just 21, Shayne Coplan created one of the most controversial gambling sites in the world. His company, PolyMarket, predicts real-world events better than the media, and got him raided by the FBI. How did a kid from New York outsmart Wall Street, Silicon Valley, and the US government all at once? Shayne Coplan grew up on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. His parents were both college professors, so he was raised around academics and ideas. He went to the Beacon School, one of New York City's elite public high schools, where intelligence was expected, but boredom was common. Shayne excelled in his classes, but couldn't stay focused. His teachers said he daydreamed too much, so they placed him in a special education program for students with attention issues. He didn't care. While his classmates thought about grades in college, Shayne thought about money. He wasn't poor, but compared to his wealthy peers, he felt behind. He became obsessed with entrepreneurship, with making something on his own. At 15, he traded tech deck fingerboards. At 16, he was downloading music illegally and experimenting with cryptocurrency. In 2014, he bought about $150 worth of Ethereum, when it was brand new, an investment that would later be worth over $1 million. But Shayne wasn't chasing $1 million, he wanted $1 billion. At 16, Shayne set his sights on a fast-growing New York startup called Genius, the lyric annotation site. He cold emailed everyone at the company asking for an internship, even for free. When no one replied, he showed up at their office in person and refused to leave until someone talked to him. It worked. They gave him a role writing about tech entrepreneurs. He became the site's top expert on Silicon Valley, publishing hundreds of annotations about founders and their companies. His editor later said, "If Shayne decides to start a company, you'll see his name in the press." That experience taught him something that would guide him forever. If you show up and act like you belong, people will believe you do. Dropping out in 2016, Shayne started studying computer science at NYU. By early 2017, he dropped out after just one semester. He wanted to build things, not study them. That same year, cryptocurrency exploded. Bitcoin and Ethereum were climbing fast, and Shayne dove in head first. He mined Litecoin, traded Dogecoin, and made hundreds of thousands during the bull run, but he wasn't impressed by what he saw in the crypto space. Everywhere he looked were scams, empty promises, and useless projects. He wanted to build something that actually worked. He launched his first company, Union Market, a platform for yield-generating crypto assets. It failed. He sold almost everything he owned just to pay rent and keep the business alive. Then one night he came across a paper that would change his life. The paper was written by economist Robin Hanson. It was titled, "Shall We Vote on Values but Bet on Beliefs?" Hanson proposed a radical idea. Instead of arguing about what might happen, people should bet on it. The market, driven by real money and incentives, would reveal the truth faster and more accurately than experts ever could. That idea obsessed Shayne. He realized that prediction markets weren't just gambling. They were tools for understanding reality. And if he could build one the right way, he could turn truth itself into a business. In 2020, while the world shut down during the pandemic, Shayne locked himself in his apartment and started coding. He called his new platform PolyMarket. The concept was simple. Users could wager yes or no on real-world questions. Will a law pass? Will Elon Musk tweet today? Will a certain celebrity get married this year? Every bet was placed in cryptocurrency and stored on the blockchain. The odds weren't set by a bookmaker, they were set by the crowd itself, based on the balance of bets. He raised $4 million in seed funding by sheer force of will and charisma. He convinced investors at parties, dinners, and over messages, sometimes name-dropping celebrities like Orlando Bloom just to get attention. It worked. Within a year, PolyMarket had become the largest prediction market in the world. It dominated its niche. It's about holding nearly 90% of global activity, but its success soon caught the attention of the US government. Under US law, prediction markets count as event contracts, which fall under the jurisdiction of the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, the CFTC. Shayne hadn't applied for approval, and PolyMarket's bets were technically unregistered derivatives. In 2021, the CFTC fined PolyMarket $1.4 million and ordered the company to block US users. Shayne complied on paper and moved operations to Panama, but in reality, users simply used VPNs to access the site. It worked well enough, until PolyMarket got too accurate to ignore. During the 2024 US presidential election, PolyMarket became a global phenomenon. It predicted major events with eerie precision, that President Joe Biden would drop out, that Donald Trump would win key swing states, and even his choice for vice president, all before traditional media caught up. Suddenly, PolyMarket wasn't just a betting site. It was a forecasting engine that outperformed polling firms and data analysts. The app surged to the top of Apple's free news charts. Influential figures like Elon Musk and Donald Trump started sharing its odds. Financial giants such as Goldman Sachs and Apollo began using PolyMarket's data in their analyses. For Shayne, it was the ultimate validation. The world was taking prediction markets seriously. But that same attention triggered something else. Another investigation. In early 2024, at 6 a.m., the FBI raided Shayne's apartment in SoHo. 8 agents stormed in, confiscated every electronic device, and took both his and his girlfriend's phones. The Department of Justice was investigating whether PolyMarket had knowingly allowed Americans to place bets using VPNs, violating the CFTC's earlier order. If prosecutors found proof that Shayne knew, he could face serious charges. But they found nothing. Hours later, Shayne bought a new phone and posted online, "New phone, who dis?" It was a message to his followers and to the government that he wasn't backing down. 8 months after the raid, in July 2025, the investigation officially ended. The Department of Justice and the CFTC cleared Shayne and PolyMarket of all wrongdoing. He posted a statement saying that justice had prevailed. Just a week later, PolyMarket announced the acquisition of QCX, a U.S. licensed derivatives exchange and clearinghouse for $112 million. That purchase instantly made PolyMarket compliant with CFTC regulations and allowed it to legally operate in the United States. Again, the company that once ran in legal gray areas was now legitimate and stronger than ever. Today, PolyMarket remains the largest prediction market platform in the world. Its data is used by journalists, traders, and analysts to understand what people truly believe will happen next. And its founder, still in his 20s, continues to build toward a world where truth isn't decided by votes or opinions, but by markets. Shayne Coplan didn't just create a website, he built a system that bets on reality. And against all odds, he won.